this particular site is great. This is Niagara Falls. And what I love about jumping at Niagara Falls is that there's a lot of robot canopies right over the top. Now I set this for no wind, so I'm pretty close to the target. And what it allows me to do is fly near these robot canopies. How did these robot canopies get here? Well, I selected it as an option. These are previous jumpers, actual simulated skydivers, real people. And what I love about it is it allows me to work on my relative flying skills and sort of get used to being near other canopies and anticipate their moves. Flying in formation doesn't have to be traditional CRW where you dock on people, right? I think we learn a lot more from not touching personally, but you know, I'm not a crew dog. I'm a relative flyer, and I like to fly with other people so that we can practice, you know, flaring, seeing what flaring does, or rear risering or front risering, and get a sense of what input causes what action. Wonderful resolution. I mean, it's so realistic. And if you bump into him, the simulation will either turn black for a little while, or it'll actually end the simulation like you crash, kind of thing. You got into a wrap, and that's where the people watching the video say, "Oh, that's a wrap." Not really. So I'm just working on you know, sort of observing two things here. That's one of the wonderful mental drills about this, is that I'm observing, well, three things. In my altitude, I'm staying with my partner here, who I can't talk to because he already flew this jump. I'm flying with the past. But I also have to keep track of the target because he could be going off in the wrong direction. I just find this so much fun as somebody who does this a lot. If you've seen my Talking Skydives videos, this is one of my favorite things, is flying with other people. And obviously it's nice to be able to tell them if they need to turn right or left or something like that, and do, you know, 180-degree turn on my mark. Oh, that kind of thing. That's super fun. But I don't need to. You know, this makes you a better canopy pilot. It really does. If you can have somebody right near you. I mean, I'm flying real close to this guy because, well, I've got a lot of experience flying near other canopies, but also it's a simulation, so I might push my boundaries a little bit further than I would if this was a real jump, which can make me better. And I can make mistakes without getting hurt. So now I'm at 600 feet above the ground. I don't know what kind of a pattern this Yahoo is going to fly. And at 600 feet, I think what I'm going to do is, let's see, 400 feet. It looks like he's flying a decent pattern. I'm going to follow him for now. Adding a little bit of brake so I can gain just a hair of altitude. If he looks like he's going to miss the target, I'm going to bail on him. Where is he going? 280 feet. Where are you going, guy? Alright, forget you. There. And uh-oh. Okay, so you get to find out what happens if you miss the landing area. I'm going down here. I'm going to follow the wall. Plan B. And I'm going to land across the hill. Flare and land. I didn't expect that would happen, but how cool was that? That's kind of fun. I probably should have stayed with my wingman, huh? Maverick. All right, let's do a new jump. Here we go. So 3,700 feet exit altitude. We're gonna change the winds around. This is above the Poconos in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, one of my favorite drop zones. Wonderful people there. So let's get it rolling. So I do a big squeeze on my controllers and things start. Always check your canopy, look at it, play with it, do all the modes that you need it to do right off the bat. This is the time to find out if you've got a problem of any kind. Does it turn? Does it flare? And does it fly straight? Right? In other words, if you just let your hands up, does the canopy keep going? Now, my objective on these jumps is to try to find somebody to play with, and I think that all the traffic is down below me. So what that means is I'm going to need to spiral. So bear with me here. This is the way it really goes sometimes. And of course, looking down at somebody that might not be directly underneath you when you spiral is kind of a weird, it's like neck gymnastics, where you try to find him. There he is. So at this point, at that distance, I would want to offset a little bit in case we're head on, because you can't always tell if you're head on at first. And keep yourself above them if you can, but if you realize immediately that you're sinking out on them, like I did here, you kind of need to give up on that person unless you've got the float capability. So I'm going to go for the next person who's a little bit lower, pay them a visit. So as you're doing this, you're looking at the drop zone, paying attention to where you're planning on landing, and you're also thinking about the other canopies. There isn't just this one that you're visiting. All right, so you've got a lot of things to think about. In this scenario, I've got 5 robot canopies, and again, these are people from the past, so I can't really interact with them, and so I kind of have to be ready for them to turn, just like the real thing. You never know where they're going to go. So if you park up next to somebody, they could just turn into you. So you have to think about your outs, always anticipating what direction am I going to turn, and what kind of a turn am I going to do to get out of his way. So here he is, he's starting to turn towards me. And so I'm ready to turn left in this case. Oh, I got another canopy down there. Not a lot of wind in this scenario. So I don't really know what direction everybody's going to land in. So that's kind of an important thing, is that they might be setting up for a different approach, because they might have been utilizing different winds in their scenario. So it kind of jumbles them all up. So sure enough, yeah, that guy's landing in a different direction than I am. He landed in a turn. That's not good. And I try to land where the target's a little bit in front of me. I think overshooting creates a lot of hazards. So I like to have wherever I'm landing on in front of me, and if I flare and float to it, that's great. If not, that's fine too. 72 feet from the target. Can't complain about that. All right, so let's do another scenario. Let's shuttle through. We have so many options. Yosemite is one of my favorite places on SkydiVR. So I'm going to leave the winds light here, and there's the landing point. So I'm going to exit directly over the landing point, because hey, we got no winds, so the spot is a Hollywood spot. All right, so you can look around a little bit before you start the simulation. There's no rush. You can highlight the target in case you can't find it. SkydiVR does that little flashy thing, so you should be able to see it anyway. But you do have the function of highlighting the target. So once again, check your parachute, do some turns. Now in this case, once again, I've got canopies in the air, but they're not near me. So I see somebody way over towards El Capitan there. So I'm gonna first point in their general direction, close some of that horizontal distance, and then I can dive down once I'm closer to being above them. I see another canopy down below. Keep your head on a swivel. Maybe you've heard that one. Basically what it means is look all around all the time, which it can be a little disorienting when you're a new jumper or a new pilot, to have your head moving all around. So I think it's a good idea once in a while to keep your eyes pointing in the same direction, so that your vestibular system doesn't get all whoppy jarred. So I'm going to bring it around behind him. See if I can creep up on him. So I'm still a little high, so I can sashay to get down. Now SkydiVR doesn't have front riser capabilities just yet, so I have to sashay. This would be a good time to front riser and get small. And of course, if he's a little slower than me,
then I could even use rear risers to get over to him like that and just improve my glide a little bit. There we go. All right, so you got to be ready. You never know where he's going to go. Also, looking around for the target. It's really easy to get fixated on flying with other canopies. Not flying him a little bit. So he's in more breaks than I was, and he rose up. So you got to play defensively. You never know what they're going to do, and that's awesome. I think that's one of the best things about flying with the robot canopies is that you can't predict their actions, just like real people, and it forces you to be ready to hit the escape button. Know what that means. So we're 1,200 feet. I'm not obviously going to be able to fly a standard box pattern. Doesn't mean I can't land close to the target. So as I fly back, I'm looking around for the other traffic, taking a moment to enjoy the beautiful view. So nice. God, that's pretty, huh? Right? Okay, so I see another canopy coming sort of towards me, so I could possibly merge my pattern with them, looking behind to see where those other guys are coming from. Stretch that neck. Okay, because there's a bunch of them up here. All right, so it looks like I can probably blend with his direction of motion as he's approaching. All right, so it looks like I'm kind of looking all over the place, but I have to, because I don't want to get into a canopy collision. So now I'm just going to do a little left turn and sort of blend in with his direction of motion and see if I can kind of follow him in. That'd be fun. Get a nice shot of him as he's making his approach. I do like to stay in a power position, which is a little higher and a little behind, just a little bit. In this case, that's going to allow me to maneuver before it gets too late. Look at the resolution. That tree is so real, huh? All right, this is exactly the shot I wanted to get. Getting ready for my own landing, but at the same time, I'm trying to stay off to the side of him, right? Directly behind is dangerous because of the turbulence. And there you go. Very nice. Yeah, often people get worried about flying, they're approaching near somebody. As long as you're off to the side, you're okay. I should say, if you're off to the side and that person is landing in the direction that you all agreed upon. That's extremely important. All right, Niagara Falls, one of my favorites. This is definitely a target-rich environment for those who really enjoy flying with other canopies, like I do. And I think it's very cool that we can look at. Oh, wow, this is awesome! It's great. So I can't use my front risers and my rear risers in the simulator, which means I actually have a lot more tools available in reality. But if you only have toggles to work with, then I think it forces you to think more about what you could do to, for instance, get down, get up, get over. Right? Look at them all. So the head has to sort of keep moving. If you hold your head still and you fixate on just one of those canopies, you can find yourself in a canopy collision very quickly. All right, so settle down, dude. So when you're really doing these things, it certainly helps to talk about it ahead of time. Whoa, so that doesn't happen. That's the danger of sneaking up on people. So when we plan these things out, we talk about hand signals. Sometimes we use radios, but it's not necessary. When you fly with another parachute, as long as you get sight of each other and you keep looking at each other and communicating your intentions before you do something, it's perfectly reasonable to do that. So if you notice, I try not to fly directly behind them for very long, just out of good habits. But right here, I'm going to feel turbulence. Right behind him, I'm going to feel that tickle or bumpy air because that parachute is disturbing the air mass quite a bit. It's not the end of the world to hit a little turbulence at this altitude, but on landing, that can be a real problem. So always offset to one side if you're landing in formation. So right now I'm thinking about him, but I'm also thinking about the drop zone. Right? So you got to keep glancing back at the drop zone. Don't stare at the drop zone. Right? Don't stare at your altimeter, although you do need that information to look away for more than about 1 second. They can accidentally turn towards you, and that gap between the two canopies can disappear very quickly, like that. See? That's what I'm talking about. You got to be ready. And so it's a wonderful thing to be able to practice this stuff in an environment where it is obviously safer than an actual skydive, and you're going to learn a heck of a lot about twisting your neck and looking all around, thinking in a 3D way. When we walk around on the surface of the earth, or we ride bicycles or drive cars, it's all pretty much a 2D experience, so we're not used to it. So we're not used to looking up, down, and all around. I think that the VR with the full goggle setup is just a phenomenal training tool for helping people to get that larger 3D awareness. So I'm trying to fly a little bit of a pattern, bringing it to the outside here, gently bringing it into final, a little bit of a low turn, flare, and it looks pretty good. Looking forward, nice. 60 feet from the target, excellent, excellent.
What if this was the best jump of your life?
I can see laughter, or I can see tears. I see a choice, love or fear. What do you choose? I can see peace, or I can see war. I can see sunshine, or I can see a storm. What do you choose? No, I choose to love with freedom flies from my heart where the light keeps shining. And I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength that we can rise above. I choose love. I choose love. I can see sharing, or I can see greed. I can see caring, or poverty. So what do you choose? I can see gardens, or I can see bones. I can see life or death coming on strong.